Hello student, Hemant Sir is here. So today we are going to understand the nitrogen cycle. It is the last part of your chapter called energy flow in an ecosystem. So the nitrogen is being very important component of the life of animal as well as plant. As we know, nitrogen present in our atmosphere about 78% of all other gases. It is present in our atmosphere about 78%. Okay, and nitrogen is being very important for the existence of life on Earth because without nitrogen, the protein and the nucleic acid like DNA and RNA they are formed and they are very important for the functioning of various activities inside the body of plant as well as animal. In DNA and RNA, RNA is ribonucleic acid and DNA is deoxyribonucleic acid. They contain purine and pyrimidine bases. They are nothing but the nucleotide sequences. These nucleotide sequences are formed by the nitrogen. Okay, that's why these bases are also called as nitrogen bases. So, being nitrogen is very important for the life existence on Earth, it has to be used by the plant and animal and it has to be then removed into the atmosphere. So, the recycling and circulation. What is nitrogen cycle? It is the recycling and circulation of nitrogen between the atmosphere and the biotic factor, or we can say within the biotic and abiotic factor of ecosystem is called as nitrogen cycle. Okay, so let's understand nitrogen cycle in detail. So in our surrounding, most of the nitrogen present in gaseous form. This nitrogen which present in gaseous form is absorbed by the rhizobium bacteria which present on and grows on the root of leguminous plant. This nitrogen is absorbed by the rhizobium bacteria and converted into the nitrogen compounds called nitrates and nitrites. This is nothing but the natural process and which is done by the biological factor called rhizobium bacteria. Then other atmospheric nitrogen which is converted into the nitrite compound or nitrate compound called nitrite and nitrates with the help of industrial as well as the atmospheric sector like rain. And in industries nitrogen is directly converted to nitrite and nitrates. Then this process is called as nitrification. Nitrification means conversion of nitrogen gas of the surrounding into the nitrogen compounds like nitrite and nitrates is called as nitrification. Okay, and it is done by atmospheric factor, then biological factor and industrial. Next part of the nitrogen cycle is ammonification. Okay, so these nitrogen present in plant body as well as animal body. Once they dead, their body becomes decay and decomposition. So due to the decay and decomposition of the organic or dead organic matter of the plant and animal, where the nitrogen is converted into the ammonia. Okay, so what is ammonification? The conversion of nitrite and nitrate into the ammonia is called as ammonification. Okay, by the decomposition of dead organic matter and by the waste which is generated by the plant as well as animal, where the nitrite and nitrate form of nitrogen convert into the ammonia. This process is called as ammonification. After ammonification we have nitrification. Most of the ammonia which is converted back into the nitrite and nitrates which are nothing but the compounds of nitrogen. Okay, and this is done by the conversion of ammonia into the nitrite and nitrates form. This process is called as nitrification. After nitrification we have denitrification. See, most of the nitrite and nitrates, they converts back into the nitrogen gas to the surrounding. This process is called as denitrification. Okay, so this circulation and recycling of nitrogen continues in between biosphere and atmosphere. This continuous distribution and recycling of nitrogen is called as nitrogen cycle. Okay, so students, this nitrogen cycle is really very important because it is the main constraint of our atmosphere due to which the life is possible. Okay, so it is as important as carbon, oxygen, carbon dioxide. Okay, so nitrogen is also one of the essential part of the life existing on the earth. Okay students, so you have to go through this animated video first.
Nitrogen cycle. Nitrogen is an essential constituent of all major organic compounds present in living organisms, that is, amino acids, proteins, enzymes, nucleotides, and nucleic acids. Different processes that occur during nitrogen cycle are nitrogen fixation, nitrogen assimilation, ammonification, nitrification, and denitrification. Nitrogen is picked up as inorganic compound from the atmosphere and is changed into organic form by plants and some prokaryotes. The atmosphere contains 78% of nitrogen in gaseous state, yet animals cannot use it directly. They can use nitrogen either in inorganic forms as ammonia, nitrites, and nitrates, or in organic form as urea, proteins, and nucleic acids. Nitrogen fixation is the conversion of nitrogen into a compound of nitrogen. Thunderstorm, lightning, and rain helps in transfer of large quantity of nitrogen into soil. Biological nitrogen fixation is carried out by symbiotic bacteria, rhizobium present in the root nodules of leguminous plant like pea. Cyanobacteria like nostoc and Anabaena present also fix nitrogen. Some free-living bacteria like Clostridium also fix nitrogen in soil. Nitrogen assimilation. Plants take up nitrogen and synthesize compounds from it. Other organisms feed on plants to get nitrogen. Ammonification. It involves the decomposition of proteins of dead plants and animals, and nitrogenous wastes like urea, uric acid, etc. of animals to ammonia in the presence of ammonifying bacteria. Nitrification. It involves the oxidation of ammonia to nitrates through nitrites in the presence of nitrifying bacteria, that is, Nitrococcus, Nitrosomonas, etc. Denitrification. Conversion of nitrate to nitrous oxide and then to molecular nitrogen is carried by denitrifying bacteria, Theobacillus. Thus, there is continuous cycling of nitrogen between the atmosphere and living as well as non-living systems.
Here we are completing our today's session as well as the lecture. So by next video lecture we are going to start the new chapter. Okay. So students, आज के लिए इतना ही, मिलते हैं next video में. If you want to write, you can write or take a screenshot so that you will understand this process accordingly. Okay, so write down. Here I am giving you the few type of the nitrogen cycle, they are available on the internet. Okay, so that will help you out to understand the nitrogen cycle.